All-powerful, an essential subject from Vinipedia. Only God is all-powerful. All-powerful means the Supreme Being is the originator and possessor of all the strength and dominance in the creation, something which we humans directly or indirectly crave for. Self-realization means that eventually we will remember and understand that as parts and parcels of Krishna, the Supreme Being, only He can be all-powerful and all-knowing. There are no limits to His qualities. They are boundless and unending. We cannot even remotely possess a spark of what He possesses. However, Krishna is very merciful, and He can, by His grace, make His pure devotee as powerful as He desires for His purpose. And conversely, when the Lord withdraws His power from anyone, he becomes powerless by the will of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada's books, lectures, conversations and letters offer a comprehensive presentation of this essential subject as seen in the Vinicote's all-powerful category. An introduction from his books is given below in the following 8 quotes. Quotes from Srila Prabhupada's books. Such pure in heart transcendentalists know that although the living entity is very insignificant, he is part and parcel of the absolute truth and so has a proportionate measure of independence. And although the personality of Godhead is all-powerful, he never interferes with this little freedom that the living entity enjoys. Message of Godhead, Chapter 3. For a demon it is certainly wonderful that the form of a lion and the form of a man can be united, since a demon has no experience of the inconceivable power for which the Supreme Lord is called all-powerful. Demons cannot understand the omnipotence of the Lord. They simply compare the Lord to one of them. Avajnanti mmhm nutanam ritam, BG 9.11. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.8. 18. Lord Krishna's dealings with Rukmi as a perfect husband are a perfect manifestation of the supreme perfection of the personality of Godhead. There are many philosophers who propound a concept of the absolute truth in which God cannot do this or that. They deny the incarnation of God or the supreme absolute truth in human form. But actually the fact is different. God cannot be subject to our imperfect sensual activities. He is the all-powerful, omnipresent personality of Godhead, and by His supreme will He can not only create, maintain and annihilate the whole cosmic manifestation but also descend as an ordinary human being to execute the highest mission. Krishna Book, Chapter 60. Those really learned leaders of society like Brahm, Eva, Kapila, the Kumras, Manu, Vaisa, Devala, Asita, Janaka, Pralda, Bali, and later on Madsiriya, Ramnasiriya, Arkaitanya and many others who are faithful philosophers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc. surrender to the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, administrators, etc., but who pose themselves as such for material gain, do not accept the plan or path of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita 7.15. Philosophy and science should be engaged to establish the glory of the Lord. Advanced people are eager to understand the absolute truth through the medium of science, and therefore a great scientist should endeavor to prove the existence of the Lord on a scientific basis. Similarly, philosophical speculations should be utilized to establish the supreme truth as sentient and all-powerful. Similarly, all other branches of knowledge should always be engaged in the service of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5. 22. Spiritual knowledge means fully understanding the absolute truth in 3 features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramtm and the all-powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ultimately, when one takes shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engages in the Lord's service, the resultant knowledge is called Vina, special knowledge, or the practical application of spiritual knowledge. Kaitanya Karitam Ta, Madhya LL 25.103. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he is all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Nati Vidu SV Rathagati Hivyam. SB 7.5.31. People do not know that real advancement in life consists of accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one's master. Instead of deceiving themselves and others by pretending to be all-powerful, all political leaders, husbands and guardians should spread the Krishna consciousness movement so that everyone can learn how to surrender to Krishna, the Supreme Husband. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.18. 20.